All I did was hit the turn signal and it bricked.
Welcome back to the Four Horsemen. This is Tom from Spork Syndicate. Let's have some fun. Together with Paul from Diecast Graveyard, Andrew from Maple Leaf Customs, and Skip from Crossroad Diecast Speed Shop, we are the Four Horsemen. September's theme is Tow Truck, and we welcome Brad from Full Custom Diecast Garage as our guest horseman. As you might have noticed from the chat, I kind of called my shot, and now I have to deliver a short bus tow truck. I was looking forward to an easier build after the past 3 months of ground-up fabrications that just seemed to get bigger and bigger. Let's get to it. The real-life bus this is based on is a 1984 GMC Vandura 3500. Matchbox makes one, and I bought it on eBay. But the US Postal Service believes that the fastest route from Maryland to Virginia somehow goes through Miami, so I chose to use a Hot Wheels Dodge van instead. The van was one of 5 vehicles I used to start this build. First up, I cut up the pickup bed, as well as the van's interior and front bumper. Three castings went into the paint stripper. The chrome interior didn't work, so I dropped it into Super Clean. Then, I began cutting. And cutting. And cutting. And cutting. And cutting some more. That left me with the scalps of 2 buses and the back half of the van for the junkyard. The pieces came together as intended, but the scale was off. Time for an audible. I was checking out the pegs at a supermarket, and right next to the Hot Wheels, there were these larger scale pullback cars and trucks. This bus was about the right size. Time for more cutting. and trimming, and filing. I really like fabrication. Taking things apart, incorporating more than one casting, building and filling gaps with styrene plastic and putty, and so on. I had to dig through my rubber tire collection to find the right match. I think I did okay. Since the bed of the wrecker is actually the floor of the school bus, there's some building to do, but it all comes together. I'm cutting a corner by using the base of the Dodge van instead of cutting it and building a new rear half. But I thought I could make it work. Until I couldn't. I had to remove the left rear quarter panel because it didn't line up with the rest of the vehicle and was pulling everything out of whack. After replacing the quarter panel, I try a new tool. Putty, recommended by fellow horseman Andrew at Maple Leaf Customs. If you keep it wet, it fills in gaps really well and reacts well to paint. I found other putties might surprise you with a crack after you prime and put down a base layer, but not Putty. I was able to sand it with my Dremel and then by hand, and I like how it came out. The crane I harvested from another casting was too much. The original looks like an engine hoist was fitted on the bed of the school bus. I was able to get creative with square styrene tubes and cut a groove for some chain. The day I completed fabrication and began painting, the GMC Vendura showed up. For the safety lights, I had the perfect size round rhinestones. All I had to do was paint them red and orange. Another important detail was the gas cap assembly, which seems to have been exposed by the customization on the original bus. Another angled square styrene tube, a faceplate also made from styrene, and the head of a pin as the gas cap completes the look. For the body details, I had some black styrene, which saved some time taping off. Plus, the unpainted surface was easier to age and weather. The front grille, headlights, and indicators all get a base layer of chrome. Back to the paint booth to make the entire bed, crane, and front hood matte black. I'm very happy with the results, but this looks way too clean to be sitting out in the woods somewhere. Between the detail painting, I begin with dry brushed black wash to knock down the yellow and give the thing a barn-found look. I'm really happy with the flat lime green I mixed for the fenders. Anyone who rode a school bus knows this color. The rhinestones are a really good scale match, and the paint came out great. I used more black styrene for the windows in the back. All the reference photos don't show any detail in the school bus portion of the vehicle, so I chose tinted windows. Again, more teasing of black wash, whisked mostly off right after I put it down so things don't end up too dark. My first videos and stills revealed some contours I didn't like. There were bubbles and imperfections, likely from the second primer coat, that ruined the effect. I worked on the finish with 5000 and 7000 grit sandpaper, and even though some of the aging and rust were scrubbed away, I was able to reapply it and have a smoother, more realistic finish. I'm really glad my fellow horsemen insisted I take this one on. I think I pulled it off. I hope everyone who participated in this build had as much fun as I did. Be sure to check out our guest horseman, Full Custom Diecast, on Instagram and YouTube, as well as my fellow horsemen, Diecast Graveyard, Maple Leaf Customs, and Crossroad Diecast Speed Shop. And if you built a tow truck this month, we want to shout you out by including it in our recap video. To be included, email a 16:9 or widescreen photo, preferably on white background, to fourhorsemendiecast@gmail.com on the last day of the month. In this case, today, September 30th. Also, when you post, be sure to use the hashtag #4HorsemenDiecast. Coming in October, there are 2 Four Horsemen community builds. The Painted Pink build, due October 15th, to raise awareness for breast cancer research with guest horseman Jode Zero, and the October build with the theme of, wait for it, Halloween, with guest horseman Eddie, the Godfather Papandrea. Believe it or not, this was my first tow truck build. And oh man, it was fun. For the Four Horsemen, this is Tom. See you again real soon.
Oh man.